I think we all agree with Biden. Trump said that he's rewriting his RNC speech to call for unity also. So they're both trying to lower the temperature. Is that even possible? You keep wearing that red hat that says Make America Great Again. That tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to another video. So as you saw from the title and of course the intro, we are gonna unfortunately talk about the hags of The View. I watch so you don't have to. You're welcome. So first off, I want to apologize if you guys hear like a background noise, white noise. I don't know what's going on with my mic. I'm trying to fix it. I noticed in the last video there was that like little hissing sound, which I hate, that I never used to have. And I don't know, something happened with my audio. I'm trying to fix it, but I didn't want to prevent myself from making this video because it's too important. So please bear with me and I will promise you I will fix it. So I apologize. Okay, so I wanted to watch this segment because obviously with what happened with President Donald Trump almost being killed and assassinated, I wanted to know what the hags of The View, what their perspective was going to be. Because we know that these ladies have been very open about their utter hatred for Donald Trump. Now, these women have one of the largest, I don't know why, but one of the largest political platforms on television or in all of media. They get millions of views every single day spewing their garbage and their liberal agenda, millions of views. And they have made it no secret how much they absolutely despise and hate Donald Trump. So I wanted to know what their perspective was going to be, given how much they have contributed to the venom that we see and feel in politics today, especially against Donald Trump. I mean, when we talk about mainstream media, The View is right up there. Right up there. And they never miss an opportunity to call him Hitler, a fascist, evil, a threat to democracy. All those things. They peddle that garbage 24/7, 7 days a week. And in my opinion, they are just as complicit as anybody in contributing to the current temperature of our times. They are very much involved in pop culture and politics, and they are helping to create the narrative. So I wanted to know, what are they going to say? Are they going to admit their contribution to the hatred that Donald Trump gets all the time, which led to this crazy person thinking he could take out Hitler? Are they going to own it? Or are they gonna just walk around it? I'll give you one guess what they did. So let's watch this clip together. As you guys know, because of copyright, ABC, Disney, they are strict with copyright. So I'm gonna have to do some manipulation with the video and the audio so that way I don't get copyrighted. But I will have a link if you wanna watch the garbage yourself. I will have a link to the full video unedited. Without further ado, let's watch this garbage.
It was a very disturbing weekend, you might have noticed, of political violence when a would-be assassin narrowly missed former President Trump during a Pennsylvania rally. In case you haven't seen this, watch it.
Yeah, we noticed, Joy. We noticed.
Trump was injured. Former fire chief and father of two, Corey Compertor, was killed. Two more attendees were wounded, but they're in stable condition, thank goodness. President Biden spoke about it from the Oval Office last night. Take a look.
I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. There's no...
I'm sorry. I have to call BS. So you're telling me that now all of a sudden you're saying an innocent person was shot for just supporting and having the freedom to support who he wanted to support. I can't believe it. Wasn't it Biden and the Democrats who called Donald Trump supporters extremists and cult members? Wasn't that them?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And there's something dangerous happening in America now. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. The MAGA movement.
Didn't they say that we needed to be deprogrammed? And so have other prominent political figures within the Democrat Party, including Hillary Clinton.
And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump. You know, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
So spare me the tone while talking about this brave American who was killed, shielding his family. Please spare me your phony condolences, okay? Because you had no problem calling people just like him a cult member the day before he was shot. Let's keep watching.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized.
I think we all agree with Biden, right? And
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
writing his RNC speech to call for unity also. So they're both trying to lower the temperature. Is that even possible, ladies?
Well, I don't know, Joy. Is it possible? I mean, when you are somebody on The View who has openly called anybody who wears a red MAGA hat no different than wearing the swastika. Remember that?
You keep wearing that red hat that says "Make America Great Again." That tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
So before you ask the question of us, can we lower down the temperature? Maybe you should ask yourself that as you say that garbage on your platform with over millions and millions of views every single day.
First and foremost, I want to say thank God that the former president's okay. I applaud Secret Service. Listen, there's going to be some postmortems on what went wrong, but those who rushed the stage to make sure he was okay, because we're milliseconds and millimeters from a very different outcome and a very different conversation we'd be having in our country today. I think it's a moment for reflection on the tone and tenor of our politics. And one thing that is fundamentally American is the right to criticize policies. It is also our right to criticize the character of our politicians. But the way in which we do it matters. And we live in an era where escalatory rhetoric and saying the most damning and most inciting thing oftentimes is what's rewarded. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to just check how we engage. And then looking to the fact that we...
Oh, I agree, Alyssa. I agree. I especially agree because you have been saying nonstop on The View and CNN and anywhere people listen to you that Donald Trump is an existential threat to this country, that he must be stopped, that he's a fascist. Remember that?
I believe that Trump is a threat to democracy. I am horrified that my party nominated an aspiring fascist.
So again, when you characterize somebody as a fascist and you say that he is the greatest threat of all time, you can't be shocked when people like the nut job who tried to kill Donald Trump take your words literally. So what I would respect them more is if they actually said, you know what, guys, we contributed to the rhetoric and we want to apologize for the words that we used because we tend to, in our emotions and passion, say some pretty damning things that could have played a part in the temperature of politics today. So our bad. But they didn't do that. No, they spoke in third person and said people need to, but it was never I. It was never, we did this, we did that. Of course not. Of course not. And it only gets worse.
If you care about democracy, listen more, say less.
So, you know, I'm very happy Donald Trump is safe. Full stop, period.
Hey guys, Editing Chuck here. So I'm editing this video and this thought just came to me and I just needed to add it to this video. So it's funny to hear Anna say that she's so happy that Trump wasn't harmed, full stop, right? But she's somebody who also has referenced Donald Trump as Hitler. So my question is, if Hitler was shot and almost killed or even killed, would she care? Would she say, oh my God, Hitler was killed, I'm so sad? No, she wouldn't, right? So then that must mean that they don't actually believe that Donald Trump is Hitler or is Hitler-like. Either he is or he isn't. Make up your mind.
And I condemn all forms of political violence. I'm simply heartbroken for the family of Corey Comparatori, a volunteer fire chief, a father, a husband who lost his life shielding his family simply for going to a political rally. And I was watching it live because I thought he was going to announce his VP that day. That was part of what was being said. And I immediately thought it was a shooting. And I was shocked and I was heartbroken because I fled political violence in Nicaragua. And to me, this is something that's not supposed to happen in America. I felt the same way when I did watching January 6th, these attacks on the...
Bingo! She said January 6th. I was waiting for that to come up because as we know, one thing that Democrats love to do is remind us of January 6th, which by the way, they blamed Donald Trump for that and called him an insurrectionist, letting everybody know that Donald Trump needed to be tried for being an insurrectionist, even though he never directed anybody to do what they did that day at the Capitol. Never did. But I just find it funny that they can't just own their part, right? It has to be the whataboutism, because that's exactly what that was. That was her trying to remind us that, oh, but January 6th happened, and that was people on the right. That's her way of trying to negate any responsibility for her part. And trust and believe, Anna is one of the most venomous, disgusting people on that show. Like, she hates Donald Trump. If she could watch Donald Trump, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, but if she could watch Donald Trump, let's just say, if it was the olden days, remember back in the day when people used to watch in the Coliseums, people being eaten by lions and being torn apart, she would be in the front row if Donald Trump was being marched in that Coliseum. I'm gonna just say that. So again, Anna, spare me your false condolences because we all know exactly how you feel about Donald Trump. And your tone has always been very harsh, disgusting, and nasty. And now all of a sudden, because it's a new day and this happened, she's talking like this. And, oh, girl, please. I have no patience. But just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, the conversation takes a turn. Not about the rhetoric and what contributed to this nut job trying to assassinate a former president. No, it goes to gun control.
Okay, I just want to add that the shooter, yes, it was a 20-year-old kitchen worker from nearby Bethel Park in Pennsylvania. According to a CNN report, a senior law enforcement official said that he bought 50 rounds of ammunition from a local gun store hours before the rally. Shouldn't that have been reported? Somebody buys a 20-year-old white guy? I mean, we've seen that many times now, young white men with guns, and nobody reported that he bought 50 rounds of ammunition?
Bingo! Another one. Gun control. White man. Yeah. I think our card is full. So here's the thing. Buying a gun in this country is perfectly legal. So if you are of a legal age and you go to a gun store and you ask to buy ammunition or to buy a gun, it wouldn't be a red flag if you already have access to guns and if you are walking into a store trying to buy ammunition and guns. Normally people who hunt, people who are armed, people who work with guns, that's a normal thing. So why would a gun store owner call the police because a guy walked in wanting to buy ammunition from a gun store, which is the most normal thing to do? Like, why are we trying to demonize anybody who buys a gun now or anybody who buys ammunition? That's ridiculous to me. Majority of the people who own guns in this country are responsible gun owners. They don't buy ammunition to shoot up a former president. There's no way that that gun store owner could have known what this kid was up to. So again, why would he call police or call the FBI because he walked into a store that happens to be selling guns and ammunition and bought ammunition? Oh, because he's white. I forgot. Can't be white. It can't be white. Can't do that. Now that's a crime.
Look, I think Biden's Oval Office address should be a guide to all of us. I think he, and I'm going to follow his lead. And when
Oh, are you? Oh, she's going to follow his lead. Well, let's watch her following his lead while she said this just last week.
Their nominee has been proven to be a racist and insurrectionist, and as Biden said, he has the morals of an alley cat. The majority of the party, which has been cowardly and feckless and complicit and enabling in allowing Trump's racism, bullying, his demagoguery, misogyny.
Great lead, Sonny. Great lead. Again, if she would actually own her own words and say, you know what, I'm going to follow his lead because I was not being a good example in the past. I said some really venomous things against Donald Trump and demonized him in the worst possible way and dehumanized him in the worst possible way because of my own venom, and I want to own that. Did she say that? No, she didn't. So her words is not landing for me. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it.
So I know everybody always says it's too soon to talk about guns, and that we should, because there has been a terrible death of a father of two, that we should, thoughts and prayers should be where we go. I say no. I say now is the time to talk about the common denominator when it came to this assassination attempt is America's fascination and obsession with owning guns. And it just, that's the key.
Lord have mercy. You know, giving a sanctimonious speech about gun control and talking about what contributed and the common denominator, I think the common denominator are political pundits like yourself constantly pushing this narrative that Donald Trump is Hitler and that Donald Trump, if he wins, is going to destroy democracy and that he has to be stopped at all costs. And then somebody actually tries to stop him at all costs. And rather than talking about the rhetoric that led someone like that to that roof, no, let's just talk about guns and gun control. Let's talk about that and how, once again, it's Republicans' faults because they believe in the Second Amendment. Yes, it must be that. That must be it. Hit the nail on the head. You know, it blows my mind, but it doesn't. And as some of you guys know, I used to be on the left. So I used to believe this rhetoric as well. I used to push this rhetoric. I used to be against guns completely. And I was one of those stupid people who would say what she just said. And I guarantee you a couple of years ago, I would have heard that and been like, yeah, I agree. So I understand that mindset. Just FYI, people do change. Exhibit A. But it's just difficult to hear because it's like, to me, it's like low-hanging fruit, right? It's like, oh, let's talk about guns because that's the easy thing to talk about. Let's not talk about how we contribute to the temperature. Let's not do that because that will be called accountability. These women are a joke, okay? These women are a big, fat joke. And it's just the irony of them being the ones to try and preach about lowering our tone and not speaking so violent and being responsible. It's just, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, you You're telling us that without owning up to what you said and did for the past, well, I don't know how many years since Trump's been in office, since Trump has been in the political scene? Like, these women have been like sharks, okay? Sharks with blood in the water, trying to destroy this man in every way possible, calling him everything under the sun, worse than Hitler. And they want to sit here and say we need to change our tone and people need to be more responsible with what they say and how they say it, without actually saying, hey, and by the way, that includes us because we are the worst. I mean, I didn't really expect them to say that, but I was kind of hoping. But they didn't, of course, because it's The View. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video and what you think of these women. Did you find what they said to be completely sanctimonious garbage too, or were you buying what they were selling? I would love to know your comments down below. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. If you want to watch more videos, click on the link over here to watch yours truly. Until next time, peace.